Good afternoon, everyone. Chris Berryman here, coalition builder and founder on Bringing Humanity Together's awesome, wonderful Wednesday edition of Conversation for Humanity here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on YouTube. We're so humble and honored to have you guys here today because our special guest is going to be Scott Gerard today to come share her story on Conversation for Humanity. In fact, the most intriguing thing about this is I was actually in a clubhouse room with him not too long ago, and I just put it out there because one of the things that they were talking about is the power of story. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to put this out there, put it into the chat room because on Clubhouse, you actually have a little chat room inside of the audio. And I put it out there. I said, I would love to invite each and every single one of you to come share your story on Conversations for Humanity. And look what Scott did. He is here today. So he is our special guest to come share his story on Conversation for Humanity. And again, remember everyone, we always will be going live every day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday. And we would love for you to be a part of those calls. If you'd like to find out how you get involved with that, please message me, message Carla, message James, message Hope, and we would love to get you the details of those calls when we put them up for next week and everything like that. And this week is going to be kind of weird because it is the first week of the Sun and Fun Flying here in Lakeland, Florida. It's like the second biggest air show in the United States. So that's why we didn't have Sharon Carey BHT yesterday, because I was just going everywhere. It was just not even funny. So, but we're just so humble and honored to have each and every single one of you here today. So let's go right into our meet and greet session. So I see we have Carla here today, Hope here today, James here today. How you guys doing today on Wonderful Wednesday?
Hey, Chris. Doing good.
Wonderful. All right. Very good. Very good. And Hope is actually doing double duty because she is getting ready to teach a class, but we're glad that you're here, Hope. We greatly appreciate you. So let's do some introductions and everything like that, and I'll go with you, Miss Carla. Want to introduce yourself to Scott? And Scott, this is Carla.
Hey, Scott. Nice to meet you. We actually connected on LinkedIn, and I saw that you're big on Clubhouse. I'm glad you're having a good experience with Clubhouse. A couple of times I've been on it, I haven't had very good experiences. So it's nice to see that somebody else is having a good experience. So I'm looking forward to hearing your story.
So James, over to you, sir.
Scott, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well, thanks.
Excellent. Nice to meet you. I haven't connected with you yet. But I've been here on bringing humanity together for a while, and I'll say this much: Chris is doing one hell of a good job with this. He's got a lot to bring to the table. Miss Carla, she's bringing the fire too, and so is Jody.
I'll slip you a 20 later, okay?
Well, make sure it's with coffee, okay?
Oh, you want
Before
coffee?
You got the beans,
or you want coffee instead?
I'll take coffee any day of the week.
We can make arrangements for that, James. We can make arrangements for that. That we can do.
Hey, so, Jody.
Jody, over to you, ma'am. Please introduce yourself to Scott. Scott, this is Jody.
Hi, Scott. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Jody.
So I can't wait to hear your story because I see we both have the word consulting in our title. So I am always excited to connect with other consultants. So this is going to be a bonus for me today. So I've been here for a few months and am loving it. As was mentioned by James, Chris is doing a wonderful job here. So Scott, welcome, and I can't wait to hear more about you.
That is awesome to hear, Jody. Thank you so much that we can give you a bonus edition of Conversation for Humanity. That's a good thing. So hopefully you're available. We would love for you to introduce yourself to Scott. Scott, this is Hope.
Hi, how are you? Nice to hop on. I will be on and off because I have to get ready to teach. So doing the best I can with all your offering. I am energized after spending a few days with family and friends and seeing the Springsteen concert down in DC. So I I am now back in the lower Catskills of New York and hopping onto this Zoom before I have to teach. And hopefully the teachers, the adults will be like, yes, we're rocking it today for our students and for themselves. And welcome. And thank you everybody for this group.
And hope I got to ask you this because I believe I may have asked you this, but I've got to ask it for Scott too as well, so he knows. And we'll probably go around the room real quick. What really attracted you, Hope, to bring humanity together?
So I am a teacher of adult ELLs who represent many geographic areas. And I just feel that they are humans and they need to be looked at as an asset. And that's something I've been striving to do for my 38 years that I'm a teacher. And I also want myself to be treated as a person and not a label. And that's something I've been working on as I've been combating some tiny but little jabs of anti-Semitism where I am. So that's what brought me to the concept or to this place where humanity is non-negotiable, I feel like.
Well said, well said. Over to you, Jody. What really sparked your interest into bringing humanity together?
Well, I'm just going to be very honest, if that's all right. So I am always looking for ways that I can network with people. And when I stumbled across this group in LinkedIn, it just sparked my interest. And since becoming a member, I have really grown my connections with quality people. So that's really important to me. The networking, because Scott, I can't wait to hear what you say, but this consulting business is kind of a cutthroat business and you've got to have the right connections. It's all in who you know. So I'm in several other groups, but none like this. So that's why I'm here.
Over to you, James. What really sparked your interest into bringing humanity together?
Bringing humanity together is a community. It is a foundation of like-minded people that bring the good to others, and they share the knowledge and the wisdom that everyone has. And the diversity of the individuals, and it's not even so much individuals, it's the same. It's everyone as an equal, everyone as the same, everyone as a tribe, if you will. And so that's what sparked my interest.
All right, very good, James. Very good, very good. And I just know Scott's story is going to really inspire and uplift us today. And we're just, like I said, I'm so humbled and honored that he has taken the time out of his day to come share his story with us today. And I just surely believe it's going to create so much value and impact, and maybe more important, to that place of we can get connected, that connection will lead into collaboration, and that collaboration will lead into community. And I truly believe in that. So since we're getting ready to be on the top of the hour, we're going to hear kind of from Scott just for a little bit of the things that really probably makes Scott who he is and everything like that. So Scott, kind of tell us where you live and where you actually hail from and everything like that. And then we'll get right into your story and everything like that. So where do you currently reside at?
I live in Regina, Saskatchewan in Canada. Yeah, so that's my home. Saskatchewan's been my home my entire life. I was born and raised here. So moved around a bit within Saskatchewan. So
Nice.
yeah.
Now, Carla, I got to go to you, and then we'll go into Scott's story. What brought you to bringing humanity together? And I believe we know somebody who is actually in Canada too, as well. Do we not?
I know a lot of people with my company in Canada.
No, I mean, there's someone in particular that we both know,
Somebody we both know.
which would be Sandy.
Oh, yeah. She's over in Victoria. Yes. I know so many people in Canada, you know? Yeah. Well, I came to bring humanity together about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the time we were talking about bringing humanity back to the workplace. And then it's just kind of transcended over time that we need to have it in our everyday lives, so where we can take it to the workplace and take it everywhere we go, and treat people well and take them for who they are and their humanity. And when you treat everybody humanely, you know, life is just a lot better. I mean, can't get any simpler than that. So I've just loved the people that I've met, the conversations that I've had, the collaboration I've had. You know, I mean, all sorts of different people, including our great friend Brian, that just gives us a whole nother perspective on how to look at things. And it's just kind of really opened up my eyes and made me think differently.
Yeah, he makes you do this thing called consider this. Not only does he give you the answer of what he proposing, but also he gives you the very question to think, wait a minute, is he giving me the answer as well as the question? That's why this consider
it's
this.
Just another way of thinking and opening your eyes to other people. And believe it or not, I used to be very shy and I wasn't curious about people. And so now, you know, I meet people and I ask them about their life, and, you know, we have different conversations and things, and, you know, we may not necessarily agree, but it just gives me more food for thought in life and just a different way of looking at rather than just black or white or just one way, looking at things from a whole lot of other different angles.
Yeah. And I just love what Joanne just said here. Joanne, if you'd like to join us, I would love for you to join us in this conversation when Scott shares the story. She says this: I really like people who are attracted to this group. Offers real value to those who join because of the character and generosity displayed by all that I've interacted with. So, Joanne, we greatly appreciate that. And I'm going to send you the link to join today here in just a second. But Scott,
you know, the nice thing is that we are who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We put on clean clothes or whatever, and we make sure our hair isn't all over the place. But, you know, we are who we are. We know who we are. We know what we stand for. We're open to hearing other ideas and ways of thinking from other people. And we're just genuine people.
Yeah. So, Scott, it is almost top of the hour, so the floor is yours. So please come share your story with us all today on Conversations for Humanity. Over to you, sir.
All right, thank you. So for me, I really have a passion for helping people, and I have my entire life. I've been doing it as a volunteer since as long as I can remember. That's part of growing up in Saskatchewan. I think we've all being living on a farm. My parents volunteered all the time, and with in different capacities in the hometown I grew up in. So I did it, and I love it. I love volunteering, especially with kids, 9 to 12-year-olds right now, and so really everything I do is around being able to do that more, being able to volunteer more, being able to give more, being able to help more. That's my passion is doing that. So my business is kind of structured so that I can do that. So I left full-time employment 2.5 years ago. Probably the hardest and scariest thing I've ever done, because it was a 6-figure a year job, and I went down to nothing, zero, immediately, right? So, and learning about business principles and all that in various rooms. But what I really learned is in everything that we do is people. And this is going to speak to your comment, Jody, on networking. I love to network with people now. Before, no, I was like, ooh, no, get me out of this room, get me as fast as possible. I'd run the other way. Now it's a different, like when I found my purpose, my vision, my dream, I love to connect with people who are connected with that similar, not that the goals are that, like, we could be totally opposite in what we're doing, but that's why I love the chance to come on, bringing humanity together, because like everything I do is around that, right? I volunteer on another group, on Clubhouse as well, that does a similar thing. But this conversation is really about you now, because what I do is help people break through fear, understand themselves, and really get in tune and in alignment with what they are. So I ask your audience, are you scared to do something because of maybe previous things going on? Are you scared to go out and own a business? Are you scared to hop into this community? Are you scared to get involved in various activities? Because I love the word "and." I can do 40 hours a week volunteering, and I can do my business, and I can be on Clubhouse, and I can be with my wife, and I can be with my daughter, and I can do everything with proper structure and support. And that's really all I do is help people, whether it's through volunteering, which I don't get paid for, or doing it in my business, is helping people find that truth and understanding within them, because they set their own goals. They come in alignment with their purpose, and they find out, oh my goodness, wow, there's no limits. There's no limits at all. The only limit we put on ourselves is being human. Being human is our only limitation. And my wife is visually impaired, so I'm very involved in that community. My daughter has a learning ability, I'll call it. I'm very focused. I have a condition in my head that allows me to be very focused, very driven. And that I learned through my business conversations that is a really good thing. Business, like, there's a lot of people looking for people that can focus their time specifically on one thing and only focus on that one thing for an hour at a time. I can do that. I've been doing that since I was like for 30 years. I've been doing that. I just didn't realize the value I had at all, because I was a truck driver, and then I was a worker I was a labor worker. My entire career was that. I was driving truck for a long time, and then I went into operating at an oil refinery. That was fun. It was awesome, but it wasn't me. The entrepreneurship bug caught me through my family. We're farmers. Farmers are entrepreneurs. Some of the best in the world, actually. Small farmers, I'm talking. Small farmers. There aren't, just because I'm doing it in a different way, I don't, like, oh my goodness, if I tried farming, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, I can't even put my truck together if I break it. But I can do certain things online. I can do certain things in, like, being here. So what is your value? That's what I ask people. What is your value? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to see your life? So I pose the question to everybody up here. What do you do and what is your value?
Well, that's a very great question because, see, Scott, this is one thing that I truly believe is going to be the next currency of humanity. And then that next currency of humanity will be that very value over money. And here's why. When we put value back into people, for where it truly resides, it comes from the people. It don't come from money. It don't come from things. It don't come from material things that we want to get in our lives, like the big fancy cars or the big boats or whatever. It's not about that, because you could buy all those things all day long and still be unhappy and maybe even unfulfilled and everything like that. But when you value people to such an extent, it can change their heart, it can change their mind, it can change their way of being, the way they view the world. And I truly believe, Scott, and we all believe this here at Bring Humanity Together, that the best investment is the human investment. And that value component literally gives you everything that you want and everything that you need, just like life does. Because I recognize life is not only the greatest giver around, but also I recognize life can show me a pathway forward with the natural balance of life. And if we balance that with of where people sit and what they are about, this is like I share with people every day, is if I can meet people where they are and take them for who they are and build that bridge to them and with them in such a way, Scott, not only does it work in their world, but works in mine. I truly believe the next thing that comes to pass is the very definition of change, and literally it's a gift in and of itself, which is transformation. And that's how I look at value. And I look at my value not from a monetary standpoint. I can get paid $25, $30 an hour, but you know what? I know if they are giving that to me, that is small in comparison of what I am truly worth. And see, I truly believe people are far more worth in value that we can't even put a price tag on that still to this very day. And we've tried. And that is why that's one of the big components of bringing humanity together, because I want to bring that back. I want to put that balance there within that's actually there. So, Jody, can you answer that question from Scott about value? What does that look like and mean to you?
So value to me, that's a very large word. And how do you break it down into one or two sentences? So Scott, I first of all want to commend you and thank you for your farming background, because we can't live without people like you. So thank you. I appreciate your focus, and I truly believe that your focus has been created in your brain because you're a farmer. And I can say that because I was born and raised on a dairy farm and milked cows until about 2002. So I know what it's like. You know what? The sun is shining. You got to make hay. So I can so relate to you that, you know, I can be so focused, so laser focused on a job that needs to be done. And I do attribute that to my upbringing on the farm, because you had to focus. I couldn't have to go pick corn, but it was a beautiful day and I wanted to enjoy everything. No. You got to pick corn. You got to milk cows. You got to feed the calves, and you had to get the job done. So thank you again for your farming. So value is in everything and everyone. It is up to us to find the value. I often use this as an example, and it's how you think about things. It's really how you process what you're seeing and what is happening. We can see a puffy white cloud up in the sky, And we can value that for lots of different reasons. And it's there, I don't think there's a wrong reason. So I guess I'm rambling here, but value is found in absolutely everything and everyone. It's my responsibility to find that value. God doesn't make any mistakes. So that's what I would like to say about value.
Thank you so much, Jody. Over to you, Carla. What does value look like and mean to you?
Well, I would echo what Jody had said, and I think that everybody has value. When there's people that say I'm just this or I'm just that, we need to help them understand that they're all valuable in their own unique way. We're all valuable in this group, as into what little things we may do to make this group successful, whether it be just showing up for the calls, whether it be inviting people, whether it be doing some small part. It all has value to it, and we are all valuable individuals. Well, we're all created differently. We're all creatures of God in my eyes, and I like what Jody had said to Scott about farming too. If I had to survive on my ability to grow tomato plants in the summertime, I would be starving, I'll do indoor plants all day long, but the farming stuff I cannot do. And, and those are valuable people. We place so much value on what our job is, whether, we're going after a 6-figure job, we're going after this, we're going after that. And, a long time ago, I told a story about when I was in high school, because when I was in high school, that's what we did. What were you going to do? You're going to be a doctor. You're going to be a nurse. Someone forgot to tell us that you didn't make money in nursing. You're going to be a teacher. You don't make money in teaching either. You're going to be an accountant or whatever. Everybody was looking for something to do that would make them a lot of money, but they weren't necessarily happy in that, but they were making a lot of money. So, there's so many people out there that even to this day that are doing that, thinking that they're valuable, but they're only doing it to amass money. They're miserable inside in what they're doing. And when a good example, if you got a 6-figure salary and you give it up, or, if you get laid off, you're going, well, why aren't you going to find another 6-figure salary? Well, that's not necessarily me. I'm tired of playing the layoff game. I want to do X, Y, Z. People think that you're nuts. And I think that if you could stand up for that and say, well, you're allowed your opinion. I remember several years ago, there was a girl that she was our OR secretary. She did a lot of scheduling and ordering and things like that. And she quit. She just up and said, I'm quitting. I'm going to go start my own landscape business. And we all thought she was nuts. I went to school with a guy who said that he was going to grow up and be a truck driver and have a big rig. And we all thought he was crazy. And look at what our truckers are doing now, and look at the value they bring to this world. We would be nowhere if we didn't have our truckers. So we all have our own value to give. And I think along the way, we shouldn't be necessarily putting our value in who we are based on the paycheck that we bring in. We need to be constructively doing something that we feel is valuable for ourselves and other people, and not be worried about the paycheck, so to speak. Because you can do multiple things to be able to pay your bills. And that's success to a lot of people. There are a lot of people that say that they're successful in a 6 and 7-figure salary that are miserable. That's not success to me. It's not valuable to me. Hey, Brian.
And we got Brian here today. Hello, Brian.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing great today, sir. Here is our great guest today, Scott. Scott, this is Brian. Brian, this is Scott.
Pleasure to meet you.
All right, Brian.
All right, very good. And we're going to have Angela here today, too. Wow, how you doing, Angela?
Welcome. Yes, look, great to be here. How are you all doing today?
Well, we're doing great on this wonderful Wednesday, which is actually your Thursday. So how's it down under? Is it nice?
Oh, yes, it's a lovely autumn, or I suppose fall day, you'd say, with sun out, and looking forward to a great day.
All right, very good, very good. So Scott put before us this very question is, what is our value? So I'll go to you, James. What does that value look like and mean to you, James?
Okay. Value starts with the core of knowing who you are. And we are all painted with a different brush, if you will. There is no two canvases that are the same. And I got to give a big shout out to Carla, because our trucker industry is very powerful right now. And think about this: without the rail industry, there would be no truck industry. That train to truck transfer is huge, because if you don't have goods coming off the rails, you don't have goods coming off the roads. So, and that would put the farmers under as well if there was no rail industry. Because how are you gonna get things from point A to point B inexpensively? But value starts with us understanding that everyone is different for a very specific reason. Just because I'm painted with a different brush and, I see things differently, I'm no different than anybody else. So that in itself makes everyone valuable.
Yep. Well said. Well said. Love it. Love it. So I'll go to you, Brian. What does value look like and be to you when it comes to not only your personal value, but maybe other people's value? How does that show up to you?
It's subjective. It's what you make it to be. It could be monetary, not monetary. It can be anything. I don't honestly give it much thought, really. There's no one way to describe it. And I think it's situational in many ways. There's different value in different situations and different times and different people. Depends on what you're doing and who you're working with and what you need and what other people need and how to take advantage of, opportunities and people and, where you can fill in gaps of what's needed and not needed at a particular time. It's nothing mysterious. It's completely contextual though. Some people are useful and valuable when it comes to work. Other people, not so much. You don't need them. Or I'm not as useful or as valuable in certain situations. So my skill set doesn't necessarily translate into everything, and other people's skill sets don't necessarily translate into what I need. So it depends on what the situation calls for, and that's where value comes from. I mean, on a broader perspective, it could be anything. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be money, it could be jobs, it could be anything.
And I see we also now have Emily here. Hello, Emily. How are you doing
Hi.
today?
It took me a little bit to realize it was a different link than the LinkedIn one.
Well, that's
But
all right. We're glad that you're
it was
here
okay.
today. How's things going in your neck of the woods?
Good. I'm getting really good headway on the site that I'm doing for the fundraiser in California. So I'm very excited.
All right, very good, very good. We're glad that you're here with us today. The question has been put before us from Scott's great sharing of a story right now is, what is our value and what does that value look like and mean to you? So I'll go to you, Emily. What does that value component look like and mean to you?
Whew. In the business world or personal or both or what?
It can be all of it.
Okay. I would have to say, just being treated like a human. Like I've heard some of you guys say that. That's a tough one. I've had an interesting life, let's put it that way. So yeah, I just want my life to be my own, and yeah. Anyway, I don't know where to go with that, but anyway, so I just, respect is the big one, and just being treated like a human and not a number and not data and not I don't know. It's, yeah, just respect.
Well said, Emily. Well said. So I'll go to you, Angela. What does that value dynamic look like and mean to you when it comes to not only the value that you know that you have, but what others you want to show and bestow onto them? How does that show up to you? You're on mute.
Sorry. It's that old golden rule. If you do unto others as you'd like them to do to you, then everything's sweet. If you treat others with positivity, integrity, everyone being equal, no bias, because you've worked out that everyone is the same and everyone deserves the same kindness and respect regardless of their position in an organization, that there's value and beauty in each person, and the more that you treat people with that positivity and sort of real caring, so that they feel that you really care when you listen to them and interact with them, the more you're going to develop a sense of a work family around you, where they're not just people you work with, but they're people you genuinely care for. Sometimes, like any circles of people that you get involved with in communities, sometimes those people can become even closer than your own family because, you're doing things together that maybe building a company or maybe building an organization, but you're working together towards a cause, and it's usually a cause that's either profit driven or purpose driven. But the bottom line is, it's people. There's a Maori saying, which is Maori are the people of New Zealand, original people of New Zealand, and they say, a tangata, a tangata, a tangata. It's people, it's people, it's people. So, in other words, if we treat each other as leaders that are future leaders, or leaders that are going to be leading and influencing others, and we treat everyone with the same sort of kindness, then that will be taken out to paid forward, and others will treat others that way. And that's how we start to build a beautiful world in our little corner of that world.
Thank you so much, Angela. But what comes to mind when Scott was sharing his story for a little bit and he asked us about the value dynamic, it brings me to this, Scott. Along your journey in this great thing that is life, how did you know that you have been called to do what you've now been called to do, not only as an entrepreneur, but like you just said just a little bit ago about being that farmer kind of dynamic? When did you actually know, and how did that look like when you truly found out, hey, this is what I've been called to do? So how did that show up to you when you had that aha moment that says, hey, this is what, Scott, you have been born to do, and you've been led up to this very moment and say, this is what you've been called to do? How did that show up to you?
Oh, I love this question. I just love it so much. For the reason because I'm getting goosebumps already. So that's how I knew. I get a whole body sensation. For me, that's me because I know myself, but it came from. So the reason why I asked that value question is there's a lot of similarities here, and one is knowing yourself. Two is value to others and value in people. It's surrounded about people and communities, building communities. I realized that I've been doing that my entire life. I just didn't realize it until I didn't become aware of it until I stepped away from the life that essentially I was living somebody else's dream, not my own. And I stepped away from that and realized, because you can only connect the dots moving backward or looking back. You can't connect them moving forwards for sure. But I stepped away and I was like, wait a minute, I can do more, I can be more, I can have more, I can be everything that I want to be. I can choose to schedule my family time, my volunteer time, my church time, my everything that I value the most, and then I can choose to schedule my business. And I do that in that order. I that's what I really wanted to do, because really, when I came into business, that's what I wanted to do. It's not about working myself to the bone. I did that for 30 years. Like, I worked myself day in, day out. I worked a labor job for like 12-hour shifts, sometimes 16, 18 hours. I drove truck. That's not an easy thing to do. I wasn't, I'm not that person. I want to be out there in the community. I want to, help these kids that are 9 to 12 years old understand themselves so they can become amazing leaders. So they can become who I am now through me. It's their choice, though. That's the thing, is I always make it your choice. It's your choice of what you want to do. I had this amazing discussion with a when I was volunteering, and I just asked one simple question in the class, because we do classes, that it was one simple question, and the person's like, I want to be a truck driver. Boom, instant connection. I'm like, hey, come talk to me about that. Right? So and this is a person that's 10 years old, right? Because I know their parents they aren't truck drivers, right? So they're, and then they can make a connection with the parents. But it's all about connection and asking questions. That's why I asked that question, Chris. It's asking thought-provoking questions that have people really think. One of the best questions, and I forgot to say this, is what are you grateful for today?
Very good, very good. So I see we have Dave with us today. Hello, Dave.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Scott, and hello, Emily. I don't
Hello.
believe I've been on a call with you yet. It's a blessing to meet you. Scott, I know I jumped on late, but I already love what I'm hearing. I grew up, I've been telling people I'm from Youngstown, but I actually grew up in a little suburb called Girard, Ohio. And my great-grandfather started a trucking company based out of Youngstown in Girard, Ohio. So I thought that was really cool that I was able to jump on and catch that. Just love already what I'm hearing, and I hope everyone's having a blessed day. And I'll keep it short. So thanks.
Well, Chris, and in respect, and thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. I appreciate anybody that does trucking or like James said, in rail. Like train engineers, anybody that's in the oil industry, anybody that does that day in and day out, nurses, doctor, like whoever. It doesn't. We all come together to make this amazing world what it is. That's the thing. Like I think that's what you're doing here, Chris, is we all are coming together to create an amazing opportunity for people to realize that they are who they are, and they have a safe space where they can go and truly be themselves. And so, Chris, in answer to your question, I went back truck driving for a little bit because I needed to. I had to do it, but it wasn't me. So very quickly, I'm like, nope, this isn't me. I'm an entrepreneur now. I love being an entrepreneur. Not everybody loves that. Not everybody does that. That's okay. I'm good with that. But I love it. I love it so much that I don't think I can get away from it.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it's like and it's reflective in the volunteering I do. My questions are different. The way I act is different. The way I approach people is different because of what I've learned through having high level discussions with many amazing people who are entrepreneurs. Because small business is what founded, well, both Canada and the US. Originally, small business is what grew us. And small business is what's going to keep us together.
This is something that I have to ask of you, Scott, and also up to everyone. And I want to definitely go around the room in this question. I want to ask you, but like I said, in this journey that you've been thrust upon, and you really love it, which I commend you for loving what you do, because see, I've learned this from Brian. If you can create an environment of one that you will love, it will turn into the life that you love if you allow that to occur. So my question to you, and of course this is going to be open to everyone too as well, is do you see the power of potential when that comes before you, that you say, hey, I love this. This is what I want to do. But do you see the potentiality? Not I know the power now is really big for a lot of people, and I get that and recognize that. But do you actually see the bigger picture for what you see down the road that can even have a bigger and greater impact if you allow that to occur? So how does that show up to you when it comes to the power of potential, Scott?
Oh yeah, I sit and close my eyes and I allow myself to dream. It's there. I know where I am 5 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old. I know where that person is. I can see it already right now. It's a matter of taking the steps to put that into place to have that happen, because nothing like it's just dreams without action. If I don't take action on it, which I am, like I live it. I live what I do and I do what I live. Right. And so and that living it right in the now is what you're talking about in the here and the now. But the dreaming is what causes the mind to say, yes, let's keep going no matter what. Napoleon Hill, who's an amazing author, was given an opportunity to write what's called the Laws of Success, which turned into Think and Grow Rich, and which is about rich in money, but it's also about rich in overall life, overall growth. And if you haven't read it, do. I'm studying Fear right now, which is like one of the last chapters. But he was given the opportunity by Andrew Carnegie, who was at the time the wealthiest person in the world. But Andrew said, Napoleon, I'm going to give you the connections, but you got to figure out your own way. I'm not giving you money. So Napoleon decided, after spending 3 days with Andrew Carnegie, because he had the information to make the decision in 34 seconds. Yes, he would spend his entire life writing the Laws of Success and interviewed over, I think it was 650 people, or more. I think there might have been more, to write that book. Well, guess what? Andrew Carnegie created maybe hundreds of millionaires. Napoleon Hill has been attributed to creating millions of millionaires just because he made one simple decision and had a dream and went for it. He didn't know how it was going to happen. He didn't have a clue. He was a person that was given an opportunity and he jumped on it. And Andrew said, you know what? And had a stopwatch. If he didn't decide in 60 seconds, he was going on to the next person. He had a stopwatch under his desk that it unbeknownst to Napoleon Hill. So that's what I say about dreams. Napoleon said the all I focus on is the end result. The obstacles must give way. And that's what it's about. And it's not that we're down on ourselves if we don't achieve that result. No, not at all. It's that we're driven, we're passionate, we're on purpose, we're on point. I wake up every single day smiling because I know I'm fulfilling my purpose every day. And no matter what happens, I can flip that switch. I realize that there is positive and negative, and that's the law of polarity. There's universal laws involved, but I realize that, and I can flip that switch in my mind very quickly now. I didn't used to before. I didn't used to before. I would come home and be moping and oh my goodness, oh what a poor day I had at work and blah 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 is what my family heard. Blah 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 blah. And all this sucks and blah 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 blah. And that would lead to like months and months and months. And all of a sudden I'm like wallowing in this self-pity mode. Well, no. Now I have a purpose, I have a vision, I have a dream, I have desires, I have goals, and I'm going for it. That's what it means to me. And that it starts at that high level of thinking, having a dream. It's trained out of us through school. We're taught not to dream actually in school, or I was anyways. Oh no, you better not do that because of this. You better not do that because of this. You better not do that. No, you can't do that. What are you thinking? No, we can allow people to go for whatever it is that they really want. Now you have to really want it. Like I really want to have a organization that's self-funded, completely self-funded, not dependent on anybody's donations at all for two things: music for kids and technology for kids. It takes a lot of money to do that. For me, I calculated it out. To start it is $3 million. To start it, okay? And being self-funded, not dependent on anything, that's where my passion and drive comes from, right? I volunteer. I do it on a regular basis, but I know that I already have that imprinted in my subconscious mind. So I don't have to work on that goal. I don't have to work on it. I don't have to put effort towards it because it's already there. I'm automatically doing it every single day. I don't know when it's going to happen. I have no idea. That's not up to me. The when and the why and the how, or the why is up to me. The how is not. You know what I mean? So I hope that answers your question in a valuable way.
Scott, I truly resonate with that. I truly do, and I can't wait to have a one-on-one with you here very shortly. But I will go over to you, Emily. What does the power of potential look like and mean to you?
Just starting my own company, my own business. I was a teacher before, so I know that very well, that schools put a damper on kids' dreams and whatever else. And but anyway, so people said, don't start a business. You're never gonna make it, blah blah blah. In this economy, you need money, blah blah blah. You need a job. You're not gonna make it. Why don't you go back to teaching? No thanks, I'll pass. And I just, I know I can do it. I have to. It's not an option. My goal is to train people, especially women and people that are neurodivergent, like my daughter, which she's my Y. She has autism and nonverbal, and people think that she won't amount to anything, to put it bluntly. And I'm like, okay, I beg to differ, y'all. And so I'm doing it for her. I'm doing it for myself, my past self. I'm doing it for my younger self that didn't think, I would be able to do anything of that meant anything, in the big picture. And I want to train people how to do it. I have some people lined up already, and I have some projects hopefully in. I'm doing this website for a fundraiser. Actually, I'm just going to plug it just for the heck of it. It's called Tennis for Breast Cancer. It's going on in California, and so I'm making a website for them for free, volunteering it. But since there's going to be a lot of people there with deep pockets, as I like to say, I might be able to get some business through that. So that's my goal, and then just networking with people, and like you guys and Chris said, we help, kind of thing. And so yeah, my potential is it's going to happen.
I think a lot of us have heard what you've been told before. Why don't you go out and get a real job?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
that doesn't get me out of bed in the morning. And the fact that you can be there for your daughter, that's valuable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's valuable.
Yeah, I can take off when I need to for doctor's appointments or for field trips or whatever, and just not take off, just be there for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't put a whole lot of value in parenthood. And I know when my kids were little, I probably didn't put it as much value in it because I was just younger and I just didn't know the value. But, I spent 20 years working in fertility, and it really hurt me to see people spend all this time and effort trying to raise a family and have one child, to have to turn around and after 12 weeks, go back to work. It would break my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Emily, I just can't wait for you to get involved with us here at Bringing Humanity Together. I just know you're going to do great things and everything like that, because she's all about websites that shine and everything like that. And I love that and everything. So let's go over to Jody. Jody, what does that power of potential look like and mean to you?
All right. So the word potential is just jam-packed full of so much goodness. But when I personally think of potential, you know what? My ability to have potential depends what I do today. And the reason I say that is because where I am today is based on who I was a little while ago. If I didn't believe, if I didn't want a little while ago, I wouldn't be right here in this space right now. So when I think of the word potential, that energizes me, that gets me going, because I know where I'm going, just like Scott does. I can see where I'm going to be in 5 years and 10 years and 20 years. I know where I'm going to be. And I've got to show up today with my potential in check and running full steam ahead so I can get there. And I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but Scott, you said it, you got to really know what you want. But I take it a step further, just because I'm Jody, because sometimes I overthink things. But you know what? For me, want leaves me with a little bit of scarcity. So I've switched out the word want, and it's my desire. When I have desire, that drives me. That pushes me forward. That makes me get done what I need to get done. A want is something that, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, that would be good. I want a cup of coffee right now. I really do. I didn't get it brewed before our meeting today. I really want one. But when I desire something, that changes everything. I am going after it. So that desire is really based on my potential, if that makes any sense at all.
I love it, Jody. I'm so glad that you're a part of our great together. So I'll go, because I guess he's going to make you consider this when I'm going to ask him this. Fine. What does the power of potential look like and mean to you?
What do you mean, the power of potential?
What does potential look like to you?
It's an innate ability that everybody has but doesn't believe that they have. I don't know, but another ambiguous concept I don't give much thought to anymore. I just kind of do what I need to do. I search for opportunities. I take advantage of opportunities. I utilize what's around me and build and create what is needed and wanted at that time for particular situations, for clients, for myself, for others. I don't really give potential much thought to it. I just do what I need to do. I don't get caught up in the drama of what I can or can't do, or should or shouldn't do, or what's right or wrong. I do what's needed and what's in front of me, and I find a solution to that and come up with creative ways to go about it. I don't get too caught up in it, I guess is a way to put it, Chris.
I have a feeling if Brian decides to do something, he just does it. And, but, it reminds me of the saying that says, be the 5% of people that'll do something that the 95% of the world won't do. Be a go-getter and be that 5%, not the 95% that go, well, I don't know if I can do it. And, they're sitting behind fear. Be that 5% and get out there and do what other people won't do.
Yeah, I mean, I get presented numerous opportunities a week. I mean, it's endless, the opportunities out there for people. I don't know how to resolve all of them when I'm first approached to it. I was approached today. I had a wonderful meeting earlier this morning and have a couple of opportunities, some of which have been in the works for the last couple of years that might be coming to fruition, and other new things in new dimensions of what I've been doing that kind of I sit back and I say, okay, well, that's interesting. Didn't think it would go that direction, but now we're going that direction. Let's go that way. And so you do whatever you need to do. You figure it out as you go along. I don't need a roadmap. I don't need a syllabus, and I don't need directions. I mean, I'm pretty entrepreneurial in that way. And that's what I tell my students when I was in university, even high school, like as I teach, like people are so rigid and how do I do this? What is the process to it? I mean, we've had that same conversation, Chris. You guys are looking at what's the process to start a business. Well, I don't know. Get a paying client first and then worry about it. Like, I don't, I've shifted on so many of these things that, we talk about topics in like a roundabout way. We talk about doing certain things, but doing them isn't talking about doing them. And after a while, it just I've stopped talking about it. I just see it now and go do it, and I don't even really get too caught up in it.
Well, and he makes you consider this. That's what always Brian does, and that's why I've learned so much from him. And I love what he's shared with me over the years because he really makes me think. He really does. So I'll go to you, Angela. What does the power of potential look like and mean to you?
Well, potential is something that you see in yourself, but also you see it in others. When you see it in others, you cheer them on and encourage them. And I know that I'm thankful for the school teachers I had, one in America and one in upstate New York, who saw my potential in communications all those years ago. And so they said I should be a journalist. So I became a journalist and a communicator. And quite often, people like those were both high school English teachers, one a former journalist, New Zealand Herald. But when it comes to seeing potential in others, I think it's so important when we see potential to tell people. I've just finished reading a very good book. I don't know if any of you've seen it. It says it's from the streets to the stars, and it's basically an African American guy who grew up, in a world where his mother was always moving, and he didn't have any solid base, but he was very bright, and he read World Book encyclopedias cover to cover under torchlight outside while his mother didn't want him in the house sometimes. And anyway, it was his teachers, his college professors and his high school teachers that saw his potential. And eventually he got a Harvard scholarship, and now he's an astrophysicist. But he struggled with drug addiction. And but because one day when he got to a point where he was really low, and he knew he had to change. He went to his college professor in Harvard and said something like, I almost, was killed last night because of my drug problem. And the guy just said to him, well, you know your potential and you know you've got to stop that. So put a stop to that now. Go and talk to your wife and go to rehab and get on with your career. So what I think he said that was that neither his mother or his father saw his potential, but his college professors and certain people did, and they kept encouraging him to reach his potential. And now he's paying it forward, and he's helping future leaders and future physicists understand their potential, like someone said earlier, about helping others to see the potential that they have. So that's what I thought jumped to my mind, is we have to cheer each other on and help others see their potential when sometimes they've forgotten. And as a coach, that's what I do when I'm coaching people. I'm 95% of the hour listening to them talk about themselves and their potential and their goals. And it's a process of a coaching dance between two people, where as I ask the open questions, they find their answers and they start to see their potential and they get confident and excited. And that's when they can be ready to go back out there and try new things, try new opportunities, take on a new job. So, yeah, I think it's really powerful.
All right. Thank you so much, Angela. We're so humbled and honored that you're a part of our great and growing community and movement here at Bringing Humanity Together. So I will go over to you, James. What does the power of potential look like and mean to you?
Power of potential is more geared towards what you can do. It's not what you can do, it's what you know you can do. It's how bad do you want those goals that you say that you want? How bad do you want those dreams that you said that you want to fulfill? How bad do you want the life that you said you wanted to create? How bad do you want that job? You want to sit on the sideline saying "woe is me," or you want to put your foot to the metal and say, "Let's go full throttle. Let's see what happens." If somebody offers you an opportunity, learn how to do it then and there. Don't wait until the last second to say, "Well, maybe I'll learn how to do it." No, no, no. Maybe doesn't cut it. It's either, pardon my friendship, but it's either shit or get off the pot. Make it or break it. Do or die. Go big or go home. You know? So the choice is yours. If you say that you want that goal, then put the potential behind it. Don't wait until the last second to finally decide, oh, well, I'm going to do it. Do it. Make it happen. That's potential.
Love it, James. Love it. So I'll go to you, Dave. What does the power of potential look like and mean to you?
Sorry, James gets the football captain in me going. But I loved hearing Brian's perspective. Like, talk is cheap. Just do it. But also from Angelo, like, I love having cheerleaders. I loved hearing the crowd. Like, that's what got me up. That's what helped me make plays on the field. And you know what? I will have the largest energy company in the world. Like, it's gonna happen. I'm taking the steps, and it just, I think James said this. It's not like James said this on the last call. It's not like, is it going to happen or will it happen? It's going to happen. And I'm just excited because I have a good heart and I see money as a tool, and I want to make more millionaires than Napoleon Hill. I want to make more millionaires than Carnegie. I'm a Steel Town guy. and like the Rust Belt is those roots are in me. I come from a father who worked 44 years in the mill. So like I have that ingrained in me. I have the ethic, the work ethic. I have a good heart and this call.
Thank you so much, David. Greatly appreciate you, and those are very powerful words. Um, I truly believe in the power of potential, and here's why. I just truly believe that once you have been called to do whatever that is in your life, it's not a matter if it's going to happen, it's only a matter of when. Because when you take, at least in from my experience, I can't speak for others, but in my experience, when you truly believe and have hope and faith in your life, it's like I share with people every day. It's when hope and faith come knock on your door, are you willing to answer that call? I truly believe every one of us today here on this call is willing to answer that call because they have been called to do something that really is passionate to them, it's purpose driven to them. It really becomes and I truly believe in this. The better question to ask is not what you do, what do you do, what do you do? The better question to ask is who are you? Because once you know who you are and what you've been tasked to do or what you've been called to do or purpose to do or whatever that might be for you, you know you're in a place in a space just like Scott. I had to tell you this right now. You would love Isabel and Kimberly so much it's not even funny because
Yes.
Isabel's all about attracting wisdom, and I truly believe in that too as well. But also Kimberly is about for purpose on purpose. And I truly believe that the way I see myself when it comes to that power of potential, I truly believe that everything's interconnected to everything else. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a path, there's not only a destination to go, but that very journey in and of itself is probably the destination that we should be on. And if we allow that to occur, not only will the power of positivity come before us, the power of possibility, the power of potential, the power of connection. There's so many things that come before us. And again, I'll go back to that great Sir Richard Branson quote when he says this. If someone offers you that amazing opportunity, you're not sure how to do it, say yes and learn how to do it later. There is power in yes. There's power in knowing, hey, maybe by just being on this very call gives me a place in a pathway to be a part of what is being built. And it's like when we had that great event 3 Thursdays ago about the power of having conversations rooted in curiosity. If we can become very curious of our potential and be very curious of how that potential can go to other people as well, think about what could be achieved. Think about the power of what if. Think about, hey, if I help him build his field of dreams, will he come build mine? And I truly believe that's powerful in and of itself. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Scott, for any final thoughts or your call to action today, and then we'll go around the room. So over to you, Scott. What's your final thoughts and your call to action today, sir?
Yeah, so I just wanted to touch on the potential there. A lot of people say knowledge is power. Well, knowledge is only potential. It's only power when it's turned into wisdom through experience and action on whatever it is that you're learning. So I can read all I want. I can read 1,000 books a year. Unless I'm taking action on everything that author is saying in those books, it's not really knowledge. It's not really wisdom. I'm just filling my head with stuff. And I learned this from one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, who's not here now. He could read one page in one book for 90, 360, 700 days and learn something new from it. He read Think and Grow Rich for 60 years and still learned something new from it right before he passed. Every day he read that book. Whether it was the whole thing or one page, it didn't matter. He still learned something new. So I'll pass with that. I'm Scott. I'm founder of You Know It Consulting Services. You can look that up at youknowitconsulting.com. And if you choose to have further conversation, there's a booking link to have a phone call with me. So yeah, I just love these discussions at a higher level because it's so important and so giving up to people. So thank you for inviting me, Chris.
All right, thank you so much, Scott. And we'll go over to Carla because I know Carla probably may have to run and everything like that. But what's your final thoughts and your call to action today, ma'am?
A couple of things. I wanted to thank Scott for being on the call and sharing with us about what he does. I think we all have our own potential, and we don't give ourselves credit for the gifts that we have to give in this world. And that when you're trying to figure out what to do, you don't necessarily have to have the whole roadmap. You take it a step at a time as you're getting to what you're doing, and you realize that if you're with the right people, they'll show you exactly how to do it, and you can do it a step at a time. And there are a lot of people out there looking for opportunities, but they have no idea what they want or why they want what they want to do. So you've got to identify what is important to you. If you're looking to take a complete right turn from what you've been doing, write down the things that motivate you. Write down the things that you love to do and see if there's any way that you could use those things to monetize it or get into something else. And I used to think, I really love what Scott's doing, that he's talking to the youth and telling them that they can be whatever they want to be in this world and not get into that rat race of working 40 years and being unhappy at what you're doing. I mean, yeah, it was satisfying. I wouldn't say I was totally miserable. But when I actually keyed into what my true passion was, I realized for 40 years I wasn't where I really needed to be. And if you can say, I wish I had known about what I'm doing now earlier, you're in the right place.
Well said, Carla.
I got to run for another call, but I'll talk to you later, Chris. Okay.
Thank you, Carla. Greatly
Bye,
appreciate
everybody.
you. So I'll go over to you, Miss Jody. What's your final thoughts and your call to action today, ma'am?
So my final thought for today is, you know what? Unless you really understand and live by the philosophy that life happens for you and not to you, you'll never recognize your full potential. And I think that's really sad because we have been born with so much potential. And unless we embrace that gift that we've been given, we're going to waste it and we're not going to use it. And I think that's a sad thing. So that's it.
Jody, love it. Life happens for you and not to you. I love that. So I'll go over to you, Angela. What's your final thoughts and your call to action today, ma'am?
I think just be that servant-hearted leader of others and of self. See potential in yourself, see potential in others, and help people to get to where they're heading, their goals, unlock their potential, and we always got to remember to our own self-leadership is something we have to deal with first. If we're not unlocking our own potential so we can be a role model to others, it's going to be difficult to show and teach and encourage others. So I love the story about encouraging future leaders, because I think we all get to a stage in our career where we've been there and done that. And it's kind of like we've had our time. Now it's our time to make a difference in the lives of other younger people, other future leaders, so that they realize their potential and don't just get overlooked and overwhelmed by their current circumstances. So yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Thank you so much, Angela. I greatly appreciate you. So I'll go over to you, James. What's your final thoughts and your call to action today, sir?
Well,
Thank you, Scott. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
well, first of all, I want to give a big shout out to all our veterans and our first responders and people who make it possible for us to live the way that we do. Secondly, you show me your actions, I'll show you your results. I'll show you where you can get. But you got to be the person that paves the way. Because I'm not going to do it for you. You pave the road, I'll paint the lines. And then we'll take it from there. When we work in harmony together, we are working as one machine. We're working as a well-oiled machine. But until we come to the realization of when we think alike, we act alike. So, it's like that saying goes, "Say ha você," be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Because when you try to be someone else, I can promise you that that's going to backfire. And that's going to backfire on you like that. So, like I said, you show me your actions, I'll show you your results.
Well said, James. We greatly appreciate you. So I'll go over to you, Dave. What's your final thoughts and your call to action today, sir?
My final thoughts again. Thank you everyone for the call. I just recently read. It popped up in my head. It was on LinkedIn. A letter from Bill Gates about we're entering the AI age, and I guess for my call of action, this is what separates us from AI. Take your passion, take your desire, treat it like you're not going to be able to live without it. And you know what? God or a higher being, whatever you believe in, blessed us with this thing called a survival instinct. So treat your passion, treat your desire, if that's really, really what you want, like you're going to die if you don't get it. And that's what's so wonderful about us human beings. What separates us from machines and AI is we have that survival instinct and they don't. So that is treat your passion, treat your desire like you will not survive if you don't get it.
Love it, Dave. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate you as well. So I'll go over to you, Emily. What's your final thoughts and your call to action today, ma'am?
Whew. Everyone pretty much said my thoughts, but I don't know. I was just listening to everyone else, so I didn't really have a chance to think about it. But I would just have to say, yeah, just follow your heart, and everything else will fall into place.
That's having that kind of dynamic and view of that hope and faith. Because when that hope and faith comes into your life, not only will you answer that call, but a lot of the things that you want and need in your life can be there for you because it's not a matter of if it's going to be there. It's only a matter of when it's going to be there. It's just like what Jody said. Life happens for us, not to us. And I truly believe in that. So my final thoughts is simply this. Just let life happen for you. Let life guide you in a way, just like what Dave said. If you are so passionate about what you want to do, take that passion and use it as a fuel to get you to where you want to go and not only build that field of dreams, but maybe in turn help someone build theirs. Because by doing that, not only can we create more fields, but we would literally set the precedent and the pathway for others to do the very same. Because if we allow that to occur, and maybe it comes right back to that Julia Dar video, does it not? That where I can see what you see, and then you can see what I see, and then we can all see what we should all see. Now, granted, we may not see eye to eye and everything. We may not even see the same passion or share the same purpose or share the same vision, but that's okay. But if we can take a little bit of that and integrate it in our lives with the people that we know and surround ourselves with people who we know and we like and we trust, maybe we can do that from a place that gets us to where we want to go. It's not, like I said, it's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. And I just truly believe if you let life happen for you in that way, it's going to come into a place of abundance, not scarcity, because you choose it to be so. So I love this conversation yet again, and everything like that. And of course, thanks to each and every single one of you for being on the call today. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, James. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Carla. And of course, thanks to Hope as well. And I know she had to leave early, but also thanks to everyone watching today. If you'd like to know more about bringing humanity together, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or to Jody or to Dave or to James or to Angela or even Emily. We would love to get you that opportunity to be a part of our great and growing community and movement that is bringing humanity together. I will have to get with Miss Carla for tomorrow's call because yet again it's going to be day 3 of Sun and Fun Flying here in the great state of Florida here in Lakeland. So my day, I don't know how that's going to look, but we'll make it fly. How about that? We'll make it fly. So from all of us here at Bringing Humanity Together, have a great day, make your day, and we'll see each other very soon, and have an awesome rest of your week. Keep flying, everyone.
Have a good.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a
Bye.
wonderful day. See you.